What's up, guys, and welcome to the One Realm Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Diego Call, alongside my friend Thomas.
What's up, guys? Diego, I'm going to just go ahead and say it now before we get too far in.
Go ahead.
There's multiple reasons why I say I told you so.
Okay,
and what just happened twice is for that reason.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about exactly, so I guess let's just go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and expose your thoughts.
All right. First off, I'm going to be honest. I do enjoy working with you on these. But then there's times where I have an idea of like, hey, we should probably do an ending to this one. So we just we'll stop it ahead, like we're going to stop it, but we just hey, we'll pick this up later. So they know, no, we'll just do it tomorrow, or we'll do it next week. And in our line of work, we have learned that life happens a lot for us. So to put something off like that, it's like we might as well just say, hey, we're just going to pick back up. We're going to we'll be back eventually. We don't know when, but we'll come back with the rest of the videos sooner or later. A nice costume. If you ever realize, I'm watching Mortal Kombat 11 right now. But, it's, other than the fact that we just screwed up the intro two times in a row now, just the fact that we probably should have just said, hey, we won't come back and finish these, because we're probably starting from scratch almost again, aren't we, today?
I mean, at this point, it's probably the best option, considering I have no idea what we talked about. It's been, almost a month? Yeah, it's been almost a month. Two and a half weeks, 3 weeks, yeah. Unfortunately.
Life happens with us, buddy. We gotta just say, hey.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it is. The time difference plus work schedules is a pain in the ass.
This is how the Lost must feel now.
You have the what? Sorry.
The Lost on.
Oh, okay.
The other cast.
Yeah.
How they say, oh, we're working on it. It's gonna happen eventually, but life happens.
That's for sure.
And it takes. I said we don't go through all the modification of fixing everything. We just record, and whatever you tell to do, you do it. But outside of that, everything is just pretty much cut and dry.
Yeah, I will go ahead and say it. It is pretty much all on me, because I had all the content. I didn't edit it and put it all together. And we did intend on doing it the day after. It's just unfortunate, as you said, things get in the way. But it is pretty much all on me there, because I'm the one that has all the audio recordings and all that stuff. So I do apologize, not just to the listeners that were maybe interested in hearing our thoughts, but also, of course, to you, because it is unfair to you.
Oh, no, I don't care about it. The way I understand, like I said, but probably should have been a little transparent. Like, hey, yeah, I had a feeling this one's going to pop up, though. We're not going to be able to finish this tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, my intentions were to do it, but unfortunately, things just get in the way. And it hasn't been the easiest for me to find a lot of time as of late for a lot of personal issues and stuff like that, which we'll just not get into that.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. And, I guess ideally, I think I mentioned this to you earlier privately, is I now, at least for the first time in 5 years working where I work, I pretty much have a day off on this, a set schedule where I know what day I'm going to be off at least. Because usually I work in a hotel, so it just kind of usually depends on how many people are in the hotel at the time. So, because I work the night shift, so whenever there's not a lot of people, then they will have somebody replace me once a week. But this year it's going to be pretty much every Saturday I should be off, which I think that kind of works well with your schedule as well, right?
Yeah, that works well right now.
Yeah, so at least as of right now, then we are guaranteed to be able to do things on Saturdays. So I think you can pretty much expect one episode a week, as long as weird stuff doesn't happen, which seems to happen pretty often in terms of ruining our schedule. But
even then, I can always find a little hole and just start recording it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I start working at 11 in the evening, which was 20 minutes ago. What time is it right there now? It's 3 or 4? 4:20?
It is. Yeah, 4:21.
It's 4:21. So okay, yeah. So we can, if we record sometime after lunch for your time, then we can figure something out sometime during the week as well. So all right, without all this out of the way, like I said, I personally apologize.
I told you so.
Yeah. You're right. And I will. Like if I thought this was uncalled for, then I'd say it. But you're 100% right. You did tell me we should probably like do it later on, and I figured, nah, it'll be okay. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, and then something came up, and then something else came up the next day, and all that stuff, and it just snowballed. So, guys, the One Realm podcast is getting carried time after time, down the very, very bad. How can I put this? It's going down a very, very bad road by me just being an absolute tard. So I do apologize to everybody for that. But I guess we go ahead and talk about something positive, which is MK11. Let's just go ahead and
some people's eyes, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like some people are.
In my eyes, yeah. I'm pretty sure in your eyes.
I think it's an amazing game. Honestly, I haven't played it in like a week and a half. Not because I don't want to, but just because I literally have no time. But the time I have put into the game has been nothing but pretty much lovely. Like I've been happy with everything I've seen, except for a certain little things here and there, like some things with the story. But that's just me nitpicking. We'll talk about that probably a little bit later on.
This is what's going on for 3 weeks, 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Having the games.
Yeah. So
that give us more time to have an overall look of the actual game for now.
Yeah, absolutely. So in some ways, I'm not gonna say it's a blessing, but it does kind of give us the chance of learning a lot more of the game and seeing some of the flaws. Because really, with any game, as soon as when it first drops, there's a certain amount of hours to where you're still learning the game, you're still seeing, for the most part, everything that's in it, and you don't really understand. You can see some flaws, but you don't really know what is truly wrong with the game until you get plenty of experience with it and have really gone through it quite a bit. Now, of course, I guess we can go ahead and just talk about some of the issues that people have been mentioning, since we're on the topic. And I think that the two biggest issues that people have been having so far with it was, of course, the crypts being extremely grindy, and of course having the Towers of Time be extremely difficult.
No, they do change those as well.
And yeah, and that's good. Like unlike a lot of companies like EA Sports or EA in general, NetherRealm actually came out very, very quickly. I think it was within 2 or 3 days that people had been complaining.
And people say, yeah, we know what's going on. We're fixing it. We're working on it.
Yeah, and they immediately put out a huge patch, and they gave us, what was it, like 500,000 coins, 500 hearts, I think it was, however many soul fragments, and they gave us a ton of stuff to give us an extra hand in really unlocking a lot of stuff in the crypt, and just in general, they gave us it was nice to see, because it's like not only did they recognize that they fucked up, but they also apologized, yes, but they also gave you something to really show that they are aware of it and they do feel bad about it.
And they try to help you a lot.
Exactly. Instead of just acknowledging it and then kind of moving on and doing whatever, but not really.
And we're working on it. It's not like they're treating us like DLC characters, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Which is another thing we need to talk about as well.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get to that in a second, but the only other thing that has been really negative, a lot of people at least have been calling really negative, is for some reason there's a certain section of the MK fan base that have been extremely pissed off about PC and all this weird, these issues that I honestly don't see in Mortal Kombat. Like, people have been complaining all the females aren't dressed, like strippers and stuff like that, and I honestly, I don't see how that's even remotely an issue. If you think about how women dress when they fight, and you're not counting like MMA where men wear shorts, women wear, basically a sports bra plus shorts or whatever. That's for the sake of the sport being like that, not the matter of that's how they want to dress. So I mean, if you're looking at assassins like say Katana or Jade and stuff like that, would you expect them to be running around being extremely obvious in terms of basically being dressed like strippers and being half naked, or would you expect them to be dressed like assassins in a way?
I think we had this talk on our little 22 questions, and that was the one that's like, I don't give a rat's ass about it either way. Just if you love the game regardless, then it won't bother you. Now, if that's a big criteria for you, well then this is probably not the game for you.
Yeah, I mean exactly, and that's like if it was randoms saying this type of stuff, then I wouldn't really be too bothered by it. But then I hear somebody like Total MK, who I have immense respect for in terms of, what he's done for MK in terms of, marketing the game, covering all the fucking games that have come out. He's a huge fan of Mortal Kombat and arguably the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat because of all the stuff that he has, and he's kind of recognized.
Lies, not me.
What? Sorry.
The lies, that's me.
Well, you're different. You're different. You're a up and comer who's coming for the throne because, of course, he was actually alive when the first ones came out and all that stuff. So it is kind of different. But you might come for his throne eventually. But I'll give him the top spot as of right now.
I don't want the throne like that. I just like I said. I told you we are just two guys in our 20s who love Mortal Kombat. That is all we are.
It's true.
We're not trying to win reporter award, not to be journalists or anything like that. We're just two guys who love Mortal Kombat.
We just chill, play Mortal Kombat, and occasionally have the time to talk.
And talk some hellish shit as well on each other.
That's for sure. But that's just that's how all friendship should be, in my opinion. But
thank you.
Talking shit is the way it is.
Friend.
Yeah, I mean, like if you not on a side note, like if you spend any time and it's just around me, my dad, and my brother together, it is essentially nothing but roasting the three of us. All we do is roast each other. So I don't see it as hatred. I see it as pretty much just a way of showing brotherly love. So, I mean, I don't understand all the hatred that all the other people that get salty at roasting and all that type of stuff. It's just kind of the way it is. Am I right?
You're right. Yeah. The problem with me, the reason I don't roast people as much as it's playful this way. But the only reason I don't roast people as bad as I do because I realize I can take it a little too far.
Yeah, you got to do it with the right people.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this on offline. This is like getting personal shit right there. I'll tell you about that later.
That's fine.
But no, back to the game though. It's just like if that is a really huge criteria for you, you should probably find a different game to play.
At this point,
maybe Dead or Alive and Soul Calibur is your game. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like I was saying. Like I would expect that from randoms or at least people that aren't diehards. But to see somebody like TMK say, I'm thinking about boycotting Mortal Kombat 12 because of PC, like
that's gonna be 10 years from now.
Jack's getting rid of slavery or women not having scantily clad outfits. I just think it's just very sad. Like to see the fact that so many people are getting exposed for being just basically morons who only care about seeing tits and legs. It's just kind of sad. And then
let me ask you this too.
Yes.
What would you have done? Hey, now I know we don't have this issue, but I want to ask these people something. What would they have done differently for Jax?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like for those who don't know, if you probably do, then basically what Jax did with the hourglass was he went back and he got rid of slavery for good, and all that stuff. So what would Jax have done otherwise? Like I think it's kind of it makes sense, does it not?
It's not that it makes sense because Jax isn't known as the black character almost, but the problem is that it shows how little black character Jack does have, though.
That is true. I mean, he doesn't really have much you can say.
It does suck for that reason, but at the same time, it's like there really isn't else they could have really done for Jax. In the past, they gave him. He is known for saving Sonya, hating Johnny, and hating Suhao and Jared. So if you already gave Kano to Sonya, what else would you have done with Jax, young or old?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and also, it's not even about being the slavery thing. It's about him being a family man. If all you took from that was slavery, then that just means that you have some kind of fucked up conscience in your head. You think your conscience is working. It's like, man, I fucked up as a human being. Like, I don't know, but all he did was like pretty much make sure he had his family and other people as fortunate as he was in his life. But again, but my question still falls like, what else would you have done for Jackson for ending? And also, it's non-canon, so what does it matter?
Yeah, for sure. Like I honestly, you bring up a good point that I didn't think about. Like, what else could they do? Because there's really not much there. I mean, Sue Howell's head is already ripped off. We see that in Aaron Black's intros every single time he fights. So I mean, there's really nothing there. Sonya already killed Kano. Johnny Cage is not going to do anything to Johnny Cage because Johnny Cage is, very friendly with Sonya and all that stuff.
Johnny Cage.
So, yeah, Johnny Cage. So I mean, what's really there to do with the ending? So I mean, it's a matter of them not having that much imagination with Jax, and he's not really that developed as a character in terms of having this storyline that would be interesting as an ending. And it's a shame because it's been 26 years. Well, he's only been there since MK2, so benefit of the doubt, 24.
Years, at this point.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt, it's been 24 instead of 26 or 25, more or less. But still, you would expect something more to be there. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I guess we can go ahead and move along to positive things because I honestly, I don't think either one of us considers any of that negativity to be even relevant to the game, right? I think you agree.
Nope.
Boom. There you go. So everybody who has those issues,
the only negative thing I can say about the game, that's some stuff required to the story, but it's kind of the thing as well. It's like it's the end of an era.
Very true.
And we can do this all today, or let's go and do it all today because we said we're doing it next time, and that was 4 weeks ago.
Absolutely. I have no time limit, so let's go ahead and do this.
Okay, so instead of going chapter by, we can either go chapter by chapter, or what do the characters do in the game, really? Which one?
In the story mode?
Yeah.
Well, I'm popping up MK11 story as we speak. That way I have the, if we need to go chapters and kind of give us, a refresh or something like that, then we will have it there. But I think we can definitely go, I think chapter by chapter it might be a little bit too linear, but if we go by characters, then that makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. So what do you want to do? Let's go ahead and get into it?
Yeah, well, you can go and get into it, but let's try to end this fight real quick with Kano and Sonya.
Yep. You doing the story right now, you said?
This gauntlet thing. Huh?
Doing the story right now, you said?
No, I'm doing the gauntlet with the Towers of Time.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and there's one where you have to fight Sonya and Kano. I'm pretty sure it's like an MK2 thing one.
I haven't actually done one of those. Does it give you good rewards?
Oh, well, they does give you you get a lot of your costumes from there. I mean, I just got, the end of the story, Jay, Katana, and we can't get the costume. Jay, Katana, Kalao. I just got Jade's now.
Okay.
But they give you that, but at the end of the whole gauntlet, you do get Liu Kang's Fire God one.
Oh,
so.
That's cool.
Well, it is. It's just like, damn. And some of them have special requirements. It's kind of like the challenge tower, but with some is just winning, and some of them are just some of them do have requirements. Hey, you have to end each fight with the brutality to win. Otherwise, you can't move on.
Yeah, which makes it pretty difficult for sure.
Oh yeah, especially when there's a bunch of modifiers on the screen as well that are kicking your ass more than you can count.
Yeah, that might be the one thing I don't necessarily like about Towers of Time, which is it's just a lot of times the modifiers make it a little bit too frustrating and hard to keep track of. It takes you a few times to really understand what's going to happen and when it's going to happen.
I mean, you don't have consumables of your own either, so we can talk about this one for a little bit before we move to the story, because they do have consumables you just get to go earn and find. But the more you do that, the more you can fight and have an easier time kicking ass. That's just my opinion, I guess, but...
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've been wanting to stream for, 2 weeks now, because I have that capability of doing... I have the capability of doing that now with my, using my phone's internet, and I've been wanting to stream a challenge tower. There was a tower not too long ago, I think it was Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and they had a ton of cool-looking costumes, and it was going to be, I thought it would take me an hour and a half, and that'd be perfect amount of time for me to stream and all that stuff. But I was never able to get to it, and I definitely want to do it because one thing about Towers of Time is that there's endless content there, really, and there's so much you can unlock that you can pretty much always have something to do, and it's pretty much perfect for streaming. It's a great way to just shoot the shit with some people, hang out, and play some Mortal Kombat. So
I mean, think
definitely,
about me. You still haven't played yet.
yeah, we got to do that if we can. Either today or tomorrow, we should do that. We'll talk about this.
Today's my last. Yeah, today's my last day off, so I gotta figure something else in.
Okay, yeah, we'll go figure it out. Yeah.
But let's see. I can just go to the characters list real quick, and we can just go down that list of how accurate or what do they really do in the story.
All right, sounds good.
And if you want to go through the story mode as well, you can. But
you mean with the like watching it or what?
Yeah, you can. That was so you understand. Tell me how accurate my. Let's start with. Let's start with Baraka.
All right, go ahead.
First of all, I think me and Cyborg called it the best, and we're gonna watch him get body on his own home turf.
Exactly. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, "Oh my god!" He actually predicted it, and it fucking happened. He got humiliated in front of everybody, as always.
But they did make him stronger though than usual.
Well, I mean, they couldn't make him much worse, could they?
I mean, let's look at Aaron Black, Kano. Who else? Jade. I mean, all the revenants all together. Yeah, Cole. Alright, no, let's just do the Baraka. We can't get off task, buddy.
Yeah, let's go just stick to Baraka and we'll move on a list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Baraka, I think, it's cool to see them give him a bigger role and to actually, in some ways, make him feel like he was actually valuable. Because, yes, he gets his ass beat in front of all his people, but it leads to something. It's not just him getting beat the hell down, and that's pretty much the end of Baraka. This time, at least, him getting beat up led to, his forces being aligned alongside Kitana's and going to,
to do something. Turn, pretty much.
Exactly. It's like, they've kind of always talked about how maybe Baraka was pretty much only in it to do whatever was best for the Tarkatans. But you always kind of see him do things that aren't for the best of the Tarkatans, because he always goes against the side that's clearly going to win. But in this case, he actually finally did something that makes sense for his people, and it led to them being relevant and actually having a place alongside Kitana in the future. Or at least I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, he came in thinking, like, looking at Cole's like, you done fucked up. You fucked up your own future now. And the realizability, first of all, your whole race is extinct now, which, shit, I'm glad we got to see that happen. Oh no, that happened off screen. But, yeah, keep in mind, Cole, within the past 2 years, I guess, killed every Tarkatan.
Yeah, he went on a a genocide and pretty much just got rid of them all.
I mean, I don't blame him because, well, Melina.
Yeah, and the Tarkatans in general haven't exactly been in favor of his rule.
Yeah, but he takes that with a grain of salt at first, and it's like, no, that can't be. It's like, you're wiped out completely, buddy. And then but at first he's still blindly loyal to Shao Kahn. And then. Go forward.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, which completely goes against doing what's best for his people, because Shao Kahn clearly gives no fucks about his people.
Yeah, but think about it. It's the simple, the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Yeah.
Now, you've seen, you at least know sort of what to expect for Shao Kahn.
Mm-hmm.
And Cole, well, you don't know what to expect from Cole, but you just know, like, you rather trust Shao Kahn since you know what to expect already.
It's kind of like, avoiding the unexpected or something like that. Don't know what the hell's going to happen with him and sticking with the enemy with the enemy you know as opposed to the enemy you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a fair point.
But then you have that happening with what else happened with Brock? Oh, but after with all that, he turns over a new leaf and has to be convinced by Katana of all people, which was surprising. And you guys just get to see it changes the game for you a bit. I want to say it like this as well, that it's not just everyone's you're good or you're bad. Everyone's like now made up that gray area with some of the villains finally. That's what this new timeline has done, at least.
They've made it. Yeah, they made it a lot less black and white. It's a lot more. There's good traits to bad people and there's bad traits to good people. So they've done a good job at making people more human, I guess, in this series.
Yeah.
So
because you look at Scorpion, and even though he would say is neutral, you write him off as a bad guy though, mostly.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, though the first game he's technically the good guy, all he wants is revenge for somebody for killing him against Beyond. So what else? But no, he has a face term, and his tries to actually get some type of power for once. That was just with his tribe, and he can rule. It's not only it's almost like a democracy almost. Not in the fact that they get to vote in who's the ruler, but the fact that it's like a tribe, like a one world. Not just one ruler, it's the ruler plus advisors who also have a say, and it's like majority rules on what decisions we make. Because Shiva took over too, remember?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot less of a monarchy or a dictatorship, and it's not really a democracy, but it's it's like the real world progression from dictatorship or oligarchy over to democracy. So it's
an
it's,
actual
it's,
council almost.
Yeah,
like Katana's still the main person who probably gets the final say, but it's still like they work together versus separately.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great because I guess we can just kind of move on to Katana here because that's kind of what we can talk about a little bit because I think this is probably the best thing that's ever happened to her potentially especially in recent games. But like that is something you would expect. You would expect Katana to be a lot more level-headed, to be a lot more interested in ruling in a way that's better for the realms instead of ruling in a way that's going to make her basically have absolute power. So it's great to see. Sorry?
While we're doing this as well, you want to go ahead and knock out the endings as well?
For the endings, characters? You mean in the arcade?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've seen them, go ahead. I haven't. I've been waiting to do them on my own.
I see a handful of them, but Brock is just like your standardized. Oh, I went back in time and we killed everybody. We ate everything.
Ah, okay.
That's all it was. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to it. It was like, So story mode Brock progresses, but in-game Brock is still Brock.
Yeah, he's still just random that eats people. Yeah, great job.
And he wins, so he takes over the realm. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that was hard to predict.
But that's why the endings don't mean shit, but they're always fun to talk about.
Yeah, they're always just kind of there to just kind of be there. There's really there's no ideas to them anymore. Well, at least for 90% of them. Then there are some that are relevant and stuff, but for the most part, they're just random.
It actually makes them say, I never thought about that.
Yep.
Which you kind of get that vibe from Katana ending. So let's go into her.
Yeah. So as I was saying, oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
No, I missed.
I remember mine.
Yeah, no.
I go.
No, all I was saying is it makes sense for Katana to be this way, and it's for her to be a good leader instead of kind of falling into the trap that Kodo and Shao Kahn both fell into, which was have absolute power. And it's good to see that moving forward, if they do eventually use this model again, where Katana is the ruler alongside her counselors and Shiva and Baraka. It'll be interesting to see how and of course Jade as well. It'll be interesting to see how some of this stuff moves forward and how this council works. If Baraka remains loyal, if Shiva, which I would assume Shiva probably would, remains loyal, and how all this plays out. And I like what they did with Katana. This is probably, I know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is 100% my favorite Katana that there's ever been. In terms of what they've actually done with her, because half the time she's just kind of there to be, a love interest for Liu Kang, and nothing really comes up with her. But this time they actually made her very, very hands-on with the story and gave her a major role, and actually, valued what they've probably should have done with her a long time ago and made it happen. We've been waiting for this to happen, where she takes over and she rules, Edenia and Outworld and in general. For how long now? For how long? It's been forever, and it's finally happened.
Mm. No, but like I said, a lot of people, and this is from another cast as well. Um, this is probably the best thing they could have ever done with her, that they have ever done with her either, because, like I said, it's always a love interest that never really progresses as much as it should, probably. And then, let's look at a couple of things. She came back, and first we learned things that you didn't know existed, that were a thing. Shiva actually respects Katana's opinion over anyone. Now, granted, 2 games ago she was trying to execute her, but I mean, it still it makes you think of the Shao Kahn's. She was like, Katana actually knows more than your average princess would. Take her opinion over anyone else. So it does make me think like she's more of a diplomat, so we never see that part. But she even puts first, like, if Shao Kahn's running around here, I can't go run away with you right now, Liu Kang. Let me take care of my own business, then we'll talk again eventually. But the only thing I can say I was disappointed by was that we didn't get a lot of people got into their second half. So Aaron saw his second half. They didn't talk, but he saw the second half. His younger half. Kano, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jade. Everyone saw their younger half or older half, except Katana and Ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair point. I didn't think of that, but they definitely didn't. Unless
I was thinking, maybe we can see how they react to each other, but you don't get to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have thought that might be kind of like an interesting way to, have Katana take the steps that we've seen her take, and understand how important it is that she has people alongside her to rule in the correct way, because she does not want to be even remotely similar to the evil Katana that's in Revenant form. So it would have been.
I liked her chapter still, but I wouldn't lie and say if I didn't want to see the Revenant Katana versus live Katana.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. But there was still, like her chapter was still very entertaining, and that was one of the chapters with the most character development throughout the entire game, or if not the most.
Well, because not only does she negotiate peace with 3 rival gangs, which are the Shokin, Aztec, and Tarkatan. Now, after that, she's good with Cole because Jade. And then she was like, is also strategic. They think of strategic, like, I'm not going to join a fight if not only the Khan is in chains, but also Shao Kahn has a whole Tarkatans back in him. Like if you do the impossible, I'll help join you as well.
Yeah.
And in the course of we have no idea what the time is for them, but in the course pretty much of 30 minutes or so for us, she saves her best friend. She puts down a leader. Well, she negotiated more peace with two more games. Then she kicks Collector's ass, which was kind of low-key entertaining. But I feel like Collector was like a waste almost, unfortunately.
I would have to agree. I think
We'll
him
get
and
to
Cetrion both kind of.
we'll get into those some more slowly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she takes down Shao Kahn, and not just takes down, but actually kill him. And everyone who's killed Shao Kahn, so the Deadly Alliance, um, Liu Kang, that's really almost everyone who really killed Shao Kahn, but everyone else who could have killed Shao Kahn, Raiden, that's probably the one who deserves to do it the most. Because he killed her father, made her mother commit suicide, cloned her, brainwashed her for 10,000 years, and then when she found out the truth about all of it, tries to kill her.
Yeah, I think it was a very, very satisfying moment. Probably, especially for you, who's a katana, like a huge katana fan. So, it was satisfying for me, so I can imagine it was for you too, to see her finally kill Shao Kahn.
Now, the way they killed him could have been a little better. Maybe, like, no, like, she actually killed him, but it was just like, at first it looked like she just scratched his face.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
if you ever watched Avatar The Last Airbender movie, I'm not sure if you say you did or didn't.
Her ending,
It's
you
just
said?
kind of like, huh?
If I saw what? Sorry.
Avatar: The Last Airbender
Oh,
TV show.
I saw a bit of it, not the whole thing.
Well, from the scratch, it looked like all that she did was like put a scratch on his face, but it was like supposed to be a throat slit, I guess.
Mm.
But I think that was probably for me, definitely one of the most rewarding chapters. But
Absolutely, probably the most rewarding for me personally. Probably, yeah. I guess from there we can kind of move on to Jade.
yeah, we can.
Yeah, Jade, of course, strictly related to Katana in terms of story, always has been, always will
Not in
be.
this one though.
This one a bit less, yeah, but still at the same, like, she has a very major role in managing to bring together all the factions that eventually, proclaim Katana to be Katana Khan. So, I mean, like, this is what I really like about this game, and of course, we've been very clear about MK9 in particular, and about MKX as well. Um, the storylines haven't made a lot of sense, and they haven't really given a lot of value to a lot of the characters. But this time, characters like Jade, Katana, like we said, who they kind of always get the short end of the stick when it comes to story. In this
Hmm.
particular game, they all feel extremely relevant, and Jade feels like she has a really, really, really big impact on the overall story arc. Like if it wasn't for her, kind of calming Kodo Khan down, and of course defending him throughout pretty much the entire time, bailing him out, this probably wouldn't have happened. So a lot of it is down to Jade, just being a total badass, basically.
Hmm. No, yeah, and the whole format of Jade, I liked everything she did, and it did make you put her in more perspective. Like she does play a bigger role, but I feel like they should have did more with her still, though.
Yeah,
And that's just something you always get from point of view, no matter what. Like you're always like, man, I wish they would did a little bit more. But in this format, I can definitely say that Jay played a bigger role than expected. So we were just talking about the week before the game came out. Like, I hope she's doing more than just being Katana's friend.
Yeah, and she played a much different role to what I would have expected her to play. I expected her to be extremely closely related to what's going on with Kronika, because of course, Kronika was first kind of introduced with Jade's ending in MK9, so I expected it to be a little bit more,
Sorta.
sort of, yeah,
We can
but
get on, we can get some more backstory news on that one in a second.
okay. Well, I mean, so I kind of expected her to be a little bit more um, tied into the whole, you know, the whole Kronika thing, but I liked what they did with her. Like you said, with this format, you can't really give them too much screen time because each character has basically 4 fights, and that's pretty much all you get. Some characters even have less, depending, like Kung Lao, for example. If you go with Liu Kang in Chapter 3, um, so I mean, there's only so much you can do, unfortunately, with these characters, and I think unless you go like Kitana, where so much happens in her 4 fights, then you're always gonna have that kind of feeling that maybe they could have done a little bit more. Like whether it's Jade, whether it's Johnny, there's always going to be that little feeling of there could have been something more here. But at the end of the day, I think they did. They did a really good job with Jade. And to be fair, like she's not just fun to play in this game, like she tends to kind of be, but she was also just very very interesting from a story point of view, and that's not something you can usually say about Jade. So I mean, like apart from Jade, I guess as you mentioned, go ahead and lead us into what you wanted to just mention a few minutes ago.
Um, so I was gonna say that at first, like, you're right, everyone assumed that Jay was gonna be the have more thing with you with Chronica, but unfortunately, with when Brian Shard left, we lost a couple of things with it. And this part goes more to like the background things that go into NetherRealm Studios more so than the story itself. But Jay does fall into that category of where kind of wasted potential because um, everyone was assuming that she was gonna have the like, oh, Jay's coming back, and she might be if she's gonna be alive, she's gonna be obviously Corona's gonna be a quote unquote villain, but how so? Now, the story, I'm gonna be honest, just like overall, the story we got wasn't bad. It wasn't what we expected, but that's why you don't try to have so high expectations for not just more combat, but just some things in general. Like you have too big aspirations and expectations, then you're gonna have a bigger letdown as well. But um, I mean, we kind of set ourselves up kind of for the new Saba and Frosting with versus Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Remember we had that talk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that would have been awesome. It didn't happen like we thought we were hoping, but I'm trying to. That's the reason I'm kind of in and out because like I'm trying to do the little thing. I'm gonna take a break real quick while I do this.
Yeah, right. Go
I'll
ahead.
get this thought out of my head. No, but when Brian Shard wrote in that he was on, Brian Shard was part of MK9 and MKX. So when he left after in between Injustice 2, then we lost Paul, like, and they gave the creative directiveness to someone else. The whole Dream Lady thing lost its touch for Jade. So that's why Jade's just another henchman for Liu Kang's son.
That's unfortunate, but unfortunately, whenever writers and stuff like that come and go, differences of ideas and differences of direction come into play, and they don't always match, and that's kind of unfortunate. But I guess it is what it is. It's like it's yeah, it's fair to say that there was kind of wasted potential, but at the end of the day, I think that we got a satisfying development for Jade, and yeah, it was pretty fine, I guess. Nothing amazingly special, but it was still better than what we usually get for. Like I in MK9, I can't even remember what
Her thing was to say Katana and Joy Raiden. Or at least one of them say Katana.
So overall, I would say that Jade's storyline was satisfying. It was a lot more satisfying than pretty much anything we've gotten from her in any of the last I don't know how many games. So I guess overall, not the best.
Since MK3 and beyond, or if
Basically.
you wanted, pretty much since she was last time she Revelant. Revelant was MK3 or Deception, which sucks because that means out of, let's see, 11 games, she was only really fuck is the word, but Revelant in 3 games.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of these characters. But yeah, I think that's kind of like one of the issues with fighting games in general is that there's only so much time they have in these story modes. Like if it was a, let's just say 10-hour story mode, not just counting fights, but like story, but actual story development, then there would be so much they could do with these characters. There would be so much more development they could possibly do with each of these characters. But unfortunately, we're talking about a story mode that if you only watch cutscenes is what, an hour, is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yep.
So it's not exactly so much. There's not that much in it. So it's unfortunate, and I think that's kind of like one of the issues that I'll have. And I guess I can talk about this a little bit later on when we talk about Kronika a little bit. It's just it doesn't really feel satisfying to me when a villain is introduced and in the span of 2 hours of game, it's over. That character is destroyed, and it's just kind of. It's not like It's not like there was this huge build up throughout games where we were hearing about Kronika taking over and what she wanted to do. It wasn't like that. She was introduced, like really introduced in this game, and literally in the span of 2.5 hours, she is completely gone and destroyed. So it's just kind of one of the issues with the fighting game story mode format. If it was longer, it'd be better. But unfortunately, the main focus for the developers of fighting games is the gameplay. That's 100% what they have to do, because if the gameplay isn't, top notch, then most people are going to be bored of it very fast, and it's just not going to last. And the story mode is secondary, or it's not that important to the majority of people. Like, I talk to a lot of people, and I'll say, like, my favorite thing about Mortal Kombat is the story, and I'll say, oh, so basically you're retarded, because if your favorite thing about a fighting game is the story, then the fighting game sucks. And that just seems to be like some of the general consensus of fighting game fans that aren't necessarily huge fans of Mortal Kombat. So I think that's one of the big things that MK has to deal with, is that most of the genre isn't like MK, in the sense that MK is the only fighting game with truly deep story, whereas like Street Fighter doesn't have a deep story. Tekken, let's just not even joke about that. There's just nothing to any of these games, and MK does.
There's a handful that does. Like, they're alive. They have their thing coming up finally. Like, they obviously have built up a story around it.
Yeah.
But I'd be a liar if I said that their story was better than Mortal Kombat. But here's the thing too. When stuff like that happens, you have to realize, unless there's always a story behind something, unless if you put the look into it and try to put things that's not all from Wikipedia, there is a story, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew that there was a story for Mortal Kombat, but I didn't know it was as detailed and tragic as it was. Because I didn't really know more about Mortal Kombat's story until I had a background story until for the characters I wanted to know about, I always knew. But realistically, like, Johnny Cage reached, and this is because I say I don't like to read, but Johnny Cage reached out to Jack to say why Sonya wasn't in MK2. I didn't know all that stuff until History Behind the Warrior did those videos. Like, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean the Mortal Kombat story, like if you go and really dive into it, there's so much to it, and it's way more than any fighting game that's out there. And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of one of the things I have to deal with, is that most fighting games don't put that much emphasis on the story, and MK has to have great gameplay while also putting in a satisfying story mode. Sometimes they succeed, most times they don't, but they still give their best, So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Is unfortunately the format is what it is. Moving on after Jade, I guess we can kind of talk about Kodokan. And Kodokan for me was a
Very
character,
short-lived.
yeah, very very short lived, and he was one of the characters that in MKX felt like he had the most potential, but he was executed the worst. Like he has the look that is, at least for me personally, I like his look, I like his move set, I like the idea of a Montezuma like character in
Hmm.
MK, an Aztec character in MK, but at the end of the day, he was kind of just felt like a kind of weak version of Shao Kahn in some ways. And in this game, they kind of just kept doing that. Like he never felt, except for the time where he was actually, having a good fight with Shao Kahn.
Hmm.
He never really felt like he was this truly menacing person. Like he never felt like he was a genuine leader of Outworld, and that's kind of a shame because they had him seeming like he was going to be this crazy character, but he just never really felt like he actually was, right?
No, no, I agree because that's the one thing. When you give someone a title like Khan that is completely new out of the blue, and then you execute him for the first game, it's hard to back up afterwards because, and also you can't when you're used for the past 10 games, well 9 games in this case, you're used to knowing our world's evil. Everyone in there is evil unless they're forced to it. But then the off part about that as well too is that Melina, for example, do you see her being Khan?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. The only person who's been Khan, there's only been a handful of Khans. But the only person who you could say that could be a good Khan, that's not Shao or not Onaga, probably would have been Katana. That's the only one that's, if they do it right. Because hell, I wasn't expecting Katana to get that either. I was thinking, oh, maybe I didn't think Katana would be. We know what Katana Khan was going to be until we heard it. That's why I brought it up to you a couple of months. I was like, hey, what do you think of this idea? I mean, like, even the gear piece name Katana Khan is like you would imagine still be someone evil because they have the mask with the skull face,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called Katana Khan.
Yeah. It looks like it's menacing and evil, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but you wouldn't believe that though. Yeah, you can't believe this child of Melina could be Khan. You can't believe Kolo Khan could be Khan because he's in the last game he was smaller than Kano.
that's true. Yeah, he was small.
And now just because you made him bigger doesn't make him more menacing. You need somebody who can actually be wise but also rule. And unfortunately, I had to be someone who grew up in that area, in that line. Reiko would make a good Khan, and the fact of being evil and being from Shao Kahn's right hand man.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're right on the point. Like there's really nobody you could see being the Khan except for Katana, but in a different type of Khan. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think that they kind of they tried to make him feel like he could be, but they did it in just the complete wrong way. And I think that this game kind of is just a sad ending to something that could have been pretty good, and it kind of has the 3D era feeling about him, to where there was potential, but it just never executed.
I mean, at least you know he'll probably be back in another game. 3D era characters, you don't know if they're gonna be there or not.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point, probably not. Never will be. But I guess we'll see what happens once we see what happens with Liu Kang and how he actually shapes the realms and shapes history. So we'll see.
If Liu Kang is Ed Boon, then probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. I mean, which you would think Liu Kang is Ed Boon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ed Boon doesn't see him as a hero in his own franchise.
Yeah, should we just go ahead and talk about Liu Kang, or should we save that for last? Because of
No,
course
that's gonna
that's
be the
last,
last one
right?
because it has the
Okay.
most consistent of everything.
Yeah. I guess we can.
Um,
Yeah, you pick who's next.
let's see. But let's play MKX now. Who's next?
I guess we just go over to Cassie Cage. Not there's some to
Yeah,
talk about there. Yeah, like,
Cassie and Sonya.
yeah.
Well, let's go with the whole cage trifecta.
Boom, you got it. Go ahead and start off with Cassie.
So starting with Cass, well, because they pretty much all go hand in hand with each other too. So starting with, well, let's just talk about the whole family, and plus let's just talk about special forces altogether, okay, and the roles they played. So we find out that Jax is completely discharged because after the whole fight with Shinnok, he also lost his wife, which should be no surprise if that happened to you, and that's your only keeping you sane, and your daughter still wants to join the military. You probably don't want to be a part of the special forces anymore. Cassie's promoted, and then Raiden comes out of nowhere saying that, hey, we need to attack another realm. Not that they did it to us. Not that I heard a rumor somewhere that they're going to come and attack us. No, that we just need to go. We gave them the offense. It's been 2 years. I gave them a warning. Now it's time to attack. That is literally what happened. After the first fight.
Yeah. Lovely, huh?
Yeah. But then you go into everyone's going on the mission except Johnny, because Johnny has a high role there. Well, not as much like actual general or anyone, but these guys have a lot outside of it too. So he can't be all military all the time. So they go to another realm, and Rain has this bright plan. Like, you know what? You guys go sneak in while I'll bring all the attention to myself. Hopefully no one will notice it. Which somehow they didn't notice a huge army, well, a small team fall go inside the castle.
It's just one of those moments where you're like, okay, let's just completely suspend disbelief for a second and act like this is even remotely possible, but okay.
I mean,
all right.
I feel like both games done that though, MKX and MK11.
That's for
Because
damn
think
sure.
about it. How, like, anytime you hear someone say I have a plan, I don't believe it. Like, your plan doesn't make sense. Melina's plan to attack Cole. How the hell did you get all those Tarkatans in one area to be quiet that long until they said, as soon as we get on this next block, we're going to start yelling, okay?
Yeah, whose plan was it in this game? Was it Jade? Like, her plan was to go into the Tarkatan camp quietly and not start...
No, that pulled up. That's a small stealth mission, almost. But I'm still stuck on, let's just talk about special forces. I'm talking about Sonya's plan.
Yeah, I know.
A whole team went inside. It's not like a team, an army went inside of the castle.
Jesus Christ. Like,
and none of those demons noticed that. Like, hey, there's people in here that don't look like us at all. They might be a part of Earthrealm's team.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those moments where you're like, okay, all right, let's just act like this isn't happening, or at least act like it's possible. But yeah.
Now minus Ronda Rousey's delivery, it was still sad watching Sonya die.
Yes. So I guess we can go ahead and agree that Ronda Rousey is by far the worst part of the story mode.
Oh yeah.
Like not even close. She's an atrocity to acting. Let's go ahead and agree with that.
I would only disagree with you to make jokes, but at the same time, I didn't think that she was going to be that robot, like, in the format that you would have thought like she would have some type of delivery, and it's like it all felt forced.
There's literally zero anything to her acting. It's just sad. Like, that moment, if literally anybody capable had done that, it possibly could have made some people tear up. But when that
You know the
happened,
sad part is,
yeah, go ahead.
um, and you watch the Fort Snake, and you'll probably hear this too. But if you go to, if you look up the old Journey, what is it called? Journey to the Island, I guess, for the Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay.
The girl who plays Sonya in that movie,
Yeah.
not the actress from the movie itself, but the little cartoon. She's the same person who's playing Kronika.
Oh, really?
Yes, they have a Sonya vet in the game.
Huh. That's
They
interesting.
just,
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
know.
but they
Didn't
just
know that.
get they want the extra caps, the extra publicity by getting Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid, especially because she literally has the most heartfelt scene in the movie, in the game, excuse me. Um,
It's more of a movie at this point.
Pretty much, but yeah, let's just say, yeah, she has the most heartfelt moment in it, and it was executed worse than I could possibly have imagined. So, yeah, congrats, NetherRealm. You fucked up there, huh? You're like just getting this fucking useless woman when it comes to acting, like. Just wow. Honestly, I expected it to be garbage, but I didn't expect it to be that bad. So yeah, I guess that's I told you so moment. You said let's give her a chance, give her a chance. Yeah, well, saw that with.
And that's the thing I said. With certain people, it worked out. With and certain scenes, it was okay. But it's like when it counted the most, it's fucked up.
Yep, and
I mean, when she's talking shit, when she's mad at Cassie. If Ronda Rousey was something in the last game where she's just a bitch the entire time, then yeah, that might have worked. And yeah, then we probably would have been okay with it now. But in this game where she has the top heartfelt scenes, it doesn't work out for her now.
yep, it's
So Ronda probably would have been a good actress, just she was in the wrong game.
she should have been in something like fucking Tekken with a zero story.
No, but be honest though, if she was in MKX and she was being a bitch the entire time, that's all she had to do. That role will work out for her, right? There's no if all Ronda Rousey you say is a bitch and a terrible competitor, then having her as a bitch the entire time and without overdoing it, hopefully she doesn't overact that. Then hopefully that could have been enough too. It's like, okay, yeah, that fits her. Because Sonya had a major stick up her ass last game.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit her a lot more. But what I wonder is how good would she be at transmitting that bitchiness? I just don't know if she's capable
Hopefully she wouldn't have
doing
overact that one.
Yeah.
But if she didn't overact it, it was just herself, yeah.
If
it
she
would
was
have been fine.
if she was able to just actually not seem like she was reading and be herself, then sure. But the biggest issue is she literally seems like she's. Let me just find somewhere. Let me try to imitate right here. There are a total of 12 chapters in entry 11 of the fighting game series that players will get to experience. That's pretty much how it feels when she's on screen. So if she reads it more like a bitch, like there are 12 chapters in an entry of 11 of the fighting game series. I don't know if I'm getting my point across, but what I mean is I don't know how good she would be at executing that either. Because I think that the only time that she could possibly truly seem real like that is if she was actually annoyed. If she was actually frustrated by something. But if she's reading, then I think she'll probably still just seem like she's reading a script. So I guess, who knows, because we'll never see her in that, because I'm assuming this is going to be the first and last time she's in MK. I would hope so, at least. But hard to say. All I know is this role, that this story for Sonya was a lot deeper than she was capable of doing, so it was a huge fail for that. Luckily, she gets bailed out by Johnny, who, of course, is ever the entertaining character, ever the entertaining voice actor. And he was a great character all around. I thought it was really, really fun to see the dynamic between, the modern Johnny, or if I guess we could say present Johnny, dealing with past Sonya and past
Johnny.
and past Johnny. Yeah, it was just a very interesting dynamic, and alongside the Katana, becoming Katana Khan section, I think this might be the most entertaining part of it. At least probably because I'm a huge Johnny Cage fan. So for me to see this kind of thing, like I think that probably my favorite part of the story in terms of like that made me laugh was when young Johnny gets shot in the face
They
and
shot
yeah,
our face.
and he looks at him,
Ah!
and yeah, he's freaking out. But present time Johnny, he also has the scratch on his face, but he doesn't care because he's matured quite a bit. But that Johnny's like, oh my fucking god, my face! And he picks up the gun and he starts just destroying everybody. So I think it was
It's like, oh, he's gonna get us both killed.
yeah, because if he dies, then of course it's over for all of them, for both of them. But I
For
thought that was a
him and
great
Cash.
scene. Yeah, it shows the development of Johnny Cage, and firsthand showing the maturity he's gained, and it's great to see. And it would have been cool to see the difference between Revenant and Katana, like you said. To see the differences between a younger Katana who hasn't experienced all that yet. Of course she's experienced some hell basically throughout her life,
So,
but this would be different.
yeah.
So
They gave Jade a mirror match. That's what I think that got me. So I think that was the part that got me because they gave it to Jade. And I feel like I said, Jade hasn't really had much to go off of, really.
yeah,
Except that she was Katana's friend. Even her Revenant itself says that. Like, blame your friendship to Katana. But it also didn't make sense because you're still friends and loyal to Katana even in death, so...
yeah, for sure.
No, I love the guy who plays Johnny. Once I heard that his voice was still the same too, I was so happy originally.
For sure, for sure. I think he's probably the star. Like in terms of the performances, I think he's probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I mean, definitely the most entertaining and the most true to the character. And yeah, just overall, I think that Cassie Cage. What I like the most about her is I think that one of the biggest fears that me and probably a lot of people had was since Cassie was the one that beat Shinnok, that maybe they would try to push her a little bit to be the star, the one that was going to, as time goes on, be the one that beats everybody. She was basically the new Liu Kang. And I'm glad to see that her chapter was the very first one because she was the most important.
Roll a T now.
D'Vorah is is the most destructive character in the roster, but Cassie, she was the last one in MKX, and she was the first of MK11. So it felt perfect, like they were progressing perfectly straight to where they left off. In a way, of course, it was years later, but still, actually, it wasn't years later.
And the fact that D'Vorah has the highest kill record than anyone else.
Well, I mean, that's just insane. Like, I don't like her, but hats off to her for being just by far the most destructive force that MK has ever seen, really. Like, I mean, it's just insane. Let's count who she's killed. She's killed Baraka. She's killed Melina. Who am I missing? Damn it, in this game, she fucking killed,
Apparently she kills Jared.
Yes. Damn it, I'm having a blank. Scorpion, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. Like, she's killed, and she's not even just killing randoms. She killed Scorpion. She killed Scorpion. Yeah. I mean, and of course, yeah, fine. Other Scorpion, went and after fighting Raiden was able to prove himself that he was, on the side of, he was trying to finish what Hanzo had started, but still, she killed Scorpion. Like, make no mistake about it. I mean, so she is basically insanely powerful throughout this stuff. Like, you see, compared to Kodokan, compared to Shao Kahn, at least in the in the new timeline, compared to Kronika, compared to Cetrion, compared to Geras, who is basically another one of those guys who just gets his ass beat constantly. She is basically the real boss of Mortal Kombat because she kills every good character, or at least every borderline good character, if you want to count Melina in that as well. So, and Baraka. So I mean, yeah, pretty insane, right? Like the way that they've pushed her so hard because there's nobody else killing people consistently in this game. So I mean,
in this franchise.
Yeah, in the franchise in general, I meant to say, in the series.
I mean, even at Bunta, she has like the highest kill right now.
but it kind of makes sense because I think Ed's been pretty open about how she is by far his favorite character in the new timeline.
Oh, that makes sense. But they still have another Scorpion go away too. It's like, so yeah, Scorpion never died. He's like, Scorpion's dead.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, Devora, interesting one. Look forward to seeing who she kills next.
One thing will say I did like the fact that they did with Sonya's chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Because they actually made you have to fighting her without the extra weapons. I will say I like that they actually went all out with that chapter.
That's
nerfed her a little bit.
That was an interesting one for sure because, yeah, you had to kind of just go with her basic moves that didn't involve zoning and stuff like that. It was
even her basic moves have to do with the ring thing now. Some of her low ones.
I'm talking about like her the what's it called, the leg sweep that she does, kind of like that type of stuff was still there, yeah, but there weren't many.
But she has energy rings at all anymore because they took the hand things off. So she didn't have the zoning. She didn't have the She just didn't anything that had to do with her projectiles at all. She didn't have it. And that's the first time they actually done that in the actual game. I'm happy they did it. Went full out with it.
Yeah, I was surprised by it too. I didn't think they would go that far into it, but it fit because of course they had stripped her of her weapons, so she has to use whatever moves she has at her disposal, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
I think it don't have a bunch of combos that lead into that at the end. If that's the case.
Yeah.
Like, you need this to start the combo. Like, well, you kind of took my weapon, which took my combos away.
Well, luckily for her, it was only one fight. So
no, two. She used by Aaron Black and Cabal without him. And Cabal and both of the two characters are hard to beat because they have zoning and them moves.
Yeah, but I think overall, even her chapter was like, despite Rhonda not being worth the shit as a voice actress, the chapter was still entertaining. It was all like everything that was happening around her was entertaining and satisfying. So definitely, I think the trifecta of the Cage family was definitely more than satisfying, I would say, between Sonya dying and giving kind of having that send off for of course everything that has to do with the two Kanos and all that stuff. It was just very, very good, very good.
A lot of her stuff was rewarding. Like the way Kano died, like, you're okay with that? Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I guess we can move on now to if we want to kind of stay among the Special Forces vibe, we can move over to Jackie and Jax.
Yeah, let's do that because they pretty much got stuck together too.
Yeah, Chapter 9. They were in the same. They were bunched into the same. Of course, you could choose if you want to be between Jackie and Jax. And for me personally, of course, I tried out both since we were there, but I much preferred Jax. I will say this, I give Jackie a lot of shit. I think that pretty much everybody does because she was pretty boring in MKX and she was probably the most bland of all of the Kombat kids. But in this one, they made her a little bit more interesting, a little bit more interesting to play as, at least. But at the end of the day, I don't really buy her. I don't really care for her. And I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in her. I'm gonna be completely honest. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Like Jackie, I don't think that she should be coming back in MK12 if whenever that does come out. But I don't think she should be there. As for Jax, I think his gameplay is always pretty unique for the series, even though this one is a little bit different because, Geras has some stuff like Jax, so he does have a little bit more competition in terms of who's going to be the grappler in the game, but still he has a very unique Jax type of feel, so I do appreciate that, and I like the fact that they have these two different versions of Jax, where they have the just completely mentally destroyed version of Jax, who is of course present Jax, and they have the young, gung ho type of Jax that we saw back in the day. And I personally think that it's an interesting development because you see the toll that everything has taken on Jax a lot more than you see how it's taken on all the other characters. Because him, like if
The
you
one's
see,
still dead.
yeah, like everybody else is so dead, but even Sub-Zero, who of course was de-revenanted, like you see the effect that it has on Sub-Zero, and he's pissed off about it, sure, but he's not completely destroyed by it. Whereas Jax, he is 100% terrified that will happen to his daughter. So
Daughter.
so I think it's great that they did that because he is literally the only character that you can really see like this was a very, very, very brutal thing that happened to these people, and it was very great to see. Like I thought it gave a lot more character to Jax, and it was probably the first time in his existence that he had a ton of character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even young Jax, who was entertaining, but the more distraught Jax, who is doing stupid things in terms of helping Kronika, but he's doing it for a good reason because he 100% thinks like if she succeeds, then my daughter won't suffer by being in the special forces. So I can understand.
Well, also, he's not the whole story either. That's the good thing. It's not like, oh, he knows what's going on completely. He just doesn't know.
Yeah, she tells him something. He's so mentally out of it that he believes her, and yeah.
She's not wrong, but because she's gonna reset time, and maybe in this time Jackie doesn't go, or maybe that's what's the. But and being in that position, you can't. Everyone might judge on some cases. Like that one, you can't say. You don't know what the hell you would do because, I mean, hell, you have not been killed before, and had to serve as a revenant, and then everything you have, your wife being dead, and your daughter joining the special forces being kidnapped. Because let's say for a brief second that the comics were canon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, I mean, Cassie and Jackie were both kidnapped, and for a long time, Jack didn't know where his daughter was.
Okay.
So his daughter's been kidnapped, dragged across the realms, been mind controlled, get her ass kicked by her aunt and uncle, has been to other realms as well, and had to be a diplomat, been put in prison, and then also everything you dealt with your entire life. Sorry, I'm still playing, and
Yeah, go ahead. It's all good.
But no, everything that she's been through is just, I can see why you would want rather her not being part of special forces.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's not the reason why she does it. She does because she actually wants to. But it's still that thing, like, this could have been avoided if I was a better father. That's how she sees it. And then Jackie's like trying to be a sounding board. I like Jackie's role in this one. It wasn't much better than the last one, but like it's not like she was not her. She was still her as Cassie's friend mostly, but she still did have her own thing too with her dad. But it looks like that's just gonna be her thing from now on. She's gonna be the person who cares about her dad and her dad and Cassie.
Yeah, so
And maybe Takeda Skipper comes back.
Yeah, like there's development possibility for Jackie. They
They
just
just
have to
have
do it
to-
right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that this was a good story for, in particular, Jax, but also in some ways for Jackie. Like it did make her a bit more interesting because you could see, like the relationship she has between her father, with her father, excuse me, and the way that it kind of torments Jax, and it makes her feel like what she's doing is of course really good because she's doing something that's good for the for her people, for the universe, really. But at the same time, she knows that it hurts her father, and it
It's not that
hurts
she doesn't
her.
care, but she just
Yeah.
because she knows too. She's like, Dad's probably tearing down the walls right now, trying to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on.
Yeah, of course, it doesn't make her happy, but she's still gonna do what she wants to do. She's an adult, and
Not even
she,
what she wants to, just she know what's best
yeah,
for the greater good.
yep, yep. So, I think it's an interesting relationship between them, and it was definitely something that made her a little bit more interesting. Even though, personally, I'd have
Could
pretty
care
much
less
no
if she was in
interest
the
in
game.
yeah, no interest in her coming back. So yeah, I guess we can move on to the other buddy chapter. Sub Zero and Scorpion. And
Hmm.
we already kind of mentioned that unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate. I think this is a good moment in Mortal Kombat where Scorpion actually gets killed. Because it does.
Oh, so I thought you want to talk about Sub Zero. Because you want to talk about Chapter 3 or Chapter 9, pretty much,
I'm talking about
or
chapter
Chapter
four.
10.
Chapter four first,
All right.
which is Sub Zero and
Sub
Scorpion
Zero doesn't
together.
get killed. Sub Zero and Scorpion doesn't get killed. Then
Oh,
that's
he
why I
gets
was
killed
like
in 10,
confused.
doesn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. My bad. Yeah. All right. So chapter four, Sub Zero and Scorpion, where they go to they have to go
So then
find what's
Great
his
Base,
name. Yeah,
Sector.
yeah. All those shenanigans, which was definitely interesting because I like Sector, and I definitely expect him to be in as DLC, right? I think that's pretty much you know.
Oh, we gotta talk about that later on too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how much you've heard about it, but I'm pretty sure you would have heard something by now too.
I've heard a
About
few
the
things.
DLC.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll
but we'll
talk
talk about
about
that.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Way at the end, though. Way at the end.
yeah. And yeah, so like this chapter, what were your thoughts on it? Like for me personally, of course, I always love seeing Scorpion and Sub Zero together on screen, having a relationship for once instead of just wanting to kill each other. Really, um, and I like seeing the development of Hanzo and Kuai Liang, and it's just always fun, being able to choose between which ones you want to use, and kind of seeing how that changes things. And it was just I
It
thought
was
for me it
still
was
mostly a Sub-Zero chapter. I can say
hmm
that much.
which is fair considering Scorpion has his own later.
Yeah, but I did like it though, because like I said, you'd see both of them working together. Hell, you can see them even being friends at first because, um, like he's like their, their relationship is like Scorpion. Scorpion relationship with Sub-Zero is like Goku and Vegeta. They're quote unquote friends. They love training each other, and so they like train with each other because he's trying to sneak up on him, say, "You're here in his block." He's like, "I heard your footsteps. I know you were there."
Yeah.
But in the fact that I said it was more of it worked out both because they both had it was a common cause. So they both had beef with Frost. They both had beef with Sector. They both had beef with New Cybot slash Beyond. That's cheap as fuck. It's a tag team fight, and this is something you look forward to in the future. But it's a tag team fight with Sonya and Kano, and then while one's tagged out, not only are they gaining life, but also they have lasers on the board. So it's like, and these lasers are so confused. You never know what the hell they're going to be next.
Seems like
And
this
if you
is
get trapped,
it's a pain in the ass. Seems like
if
this
it's the
gauntlet.
laser in the if the lasers are in the corner and you're stuck in the corner, then you're going to die faster even with armor. But I digress.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then it was a good chapter. I will say that. But the first time I played it, I used only Sub-Zero.
I used a mix, but I definitely used I think more Sub Zero because I already used a lot of Scorpion in the beta, and also he's pretty much my go-to character whenever I need to just destroy people in Towers of Time and stuff like that because he's easy to use and he's just fast and all that stuff. So I wanted to use Sub Zero a little bit more. I liked him. Like I liked not just like from a story point of view, but also from gameplay. Like I enjoy Sub Zero. I like what they did with him. But yeah, like the story in general, it was very satisfying. Seeing him and Frost meeting, and then her having joined Sector and all that stuff, and it was just it was an interesting one, and it just kind of builds upon the relationship between Hanzo and Kai. So it was a fun one. I would definitely say it was a fun one, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I guess we can talk about the other.
That Cyrex keeps committing suicide.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just classic Cyrax at this point. That's kind of what he is. He's the suicide character. He's the canon Harakiri character.
Here's the thing. Since the game's finally out now, I want you to finally go back and listen to all of the other past shows that you missed since March.
Yeah, I have all of them downloaded on my phone. It's just a matter of you definitely got to do it.
Find time list.
Yeah,
the reason why, because there's literally one episode when they're talking about Cyrax, and he's some really deep-rooted issues, because when he teleports, he blows himself up. Remember?
That's true.
He has some serious issues with suicide. He blows himself up when he teleports. He blows himself up the last time to end the Lune Kuei. Now he just pulls out the cord and kills himself again. He has no problem killing himself.
I guess he despises being Cyrax so much that he just wants to, being Cyber, that he wants to do whatever he can and not have to deal with it anymore, I guess.
Yes, but you don't have to. There's another way, man. He even told Quadrate, don't bring me back as a cyborg. Just don't bring me back as a cyborg. He's like, cyborg or human, you are like, yeah, but let's just not do the cyborg thing. He's like, well, I know you come back from it because I did. It's like, yeah, but if you had to pick, just not do the cyborg thing.
Just please, anything but this damn cyborg
I'm gonna kill
thing.
myself again.
Yeah, it's like the 6th time.
If you do it, I will kill myself again. Even his fatalities in the past were killing himself. Remember?
Oh yeah. Destroys the world.
The whole world.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Cyrax. That's his thing. He's the suicide character. That's his niche.
Yeah. So I get Scorpion. He's fire. Sub-Zero's ice.
He's
Sector's
suicide.
missiles. What's Cyrax? Oh, he's suicide.
Yeah, that's his game. He's the king of suicide. Yeah. All right, and I guess we can.
He's a suicide robot.
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about Chapter 3, Liu Kang and Kung Lao. This was a good.
I did love the name for these.
What was this one called?
The chapter. This one was called Shaolin Monks, and then
that's right. Fire and Ice. Yeah, it was Chapter 4.
And if you didn't know it, but those are the names. Well, that's the name of Shaolin Monks, obviously, but also Fire and Ice will be the next one. That was the next one's going to be called.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Scorpion Sub-Zero.
I think people pretty much are still holding out that they might eventually do that, because that's everybody kind of dreams of that game coming out eventually. But Ed Boon didn't necessarily shut it down completely when he was asked about it not too long ago. But he, I don't think it's too likely. Ed Boon doesn't tell you
anything. Leave it. Nothing he says matters.
Yeah, basically he could say yes, and it could possibly not happen. He could say no, and it could happen. So it's
but also, it's not like he has it's not like in the midway days where he pretty much had most of the final say. He still had a deadline. He still has to work for. But now it's like it's no longer about what do they want to do. It's like what's gonna make Warner Brothers happy. Unfortunately,
pretty much, yeah. But like this chapter, I liked the relationship between Kung Lao and Liu Kang. I liked in general, going back and just kind of going back to classic Liu Kang and Kung Lao, the feel of it. Kung Lao, his completely different demeanor than Liu Kang when they're finding out all the news, and like when Kung Lao finds out that he dies by the hands of Shao Kahn, how they're kind of feeling out how things are gonna progress. Like Liu Kang, he still has that kind of blind faith towards Raiden, even though they find out that Raiden kind of leads to them being killed. Whereas Kung Lao is kind of the one that's like, in classic Kung Lao fashion, he's a bit more rebellious. He's kind of wondering, like, is this the smart thing to do? Should we be maybe taking into consideration what other people have been saying?
They got both of us killed, not one,
but
He
both,
got
yes.
me killed, and he killed you.
Yes. Is he trustworthy? So I liked that about him. Um, yeah, and I just think that, in general, like, the best thing about this was I like playing as both characters. Like, I absolutely love both of their gameplay, and I usually like Kung Lao more, but this game I fucking love Liu Kang. Like, he is so fun to play as. And yeah, this was a very, very fun chapter for me. Like, surprisingly, because Liu Kang is a character I kind of generally I'm not a huge fan of. I think that he's kind of boring at times, or he has been boring in the past. And Kung Lao is cool, but a lot of times they don't really do much with him. But this time, it was pretty much spot on for me with what I was hoping for.
No, I liked it in the format that let me see, what is it? I like that chapter a lot because you get to see like the heads and tails side of, well, he got me killed and he killed you, so we don't trust him. Like, yeah, but Ray wouldn't do that. Now, I do disagree. And here's the thing too. Now, I love looking at the bright side of things, but at some point, it's like they're not lying to you guys because of Raiden's incompetence. Jay is dead because Raiden didn't save Kung Lao. Kung Lao's dead, and even though it would still make Armageddon happen, if Raiden didn't try to stop Liu Kang from killing Shao Kahn, Liu Kang would still be alive. So they're not wrong. Another there's these clouds like come up to him and say, "Oh, we're." It's not like they come up randomly and say, "Oh yeah, Raiden raped your whole family. That's what happened." It's no, Raiden killed me and got you killed. These are true things that happen, or not that did happen. That will happen.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting because Liu Kang sees it more like if that happened, there was probably a reason why it happened, whereas Kung Lao's just like, huh, yeah, I don't think I want to be around that, so maybe we might want to, rethink this. Whereas Liu Kang is just, he's like, listen, Raiden is Raiden. This isn't the same Raiden. Like, our Raiden isn't the Raiden that did those things.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so I mean, he is, but like I think that's kind of the way that Liu Kang was looking at it. Like he's of the two, he's the one that has that blind faith towards the Thunder God, whereas Kung Lao has
But that and
always
also
kind of
he's like,
been
there's nothing we can do about a future we don't fully understand.
true. Yeah. So Liu Kang is more of the level-headed kind of guy. Like, okay, this whatever happens, happens. This is for the Shaolin in general, and this is for Raiden, and this is for Earthrealm. Whereas Kung Lao is more like, okay, well, I don't want to die, so maybe we should do something a bit different. Maybe we should give it a try. But
You
I mean,
know, yeah, but then and the whole thing of having um, who is it? Oh, Gears is first like unveiling wasn't bad, and also I did like how it's like, well, even though I get my ass kicked, you can't truly kill me. So it kind of makes the question: why didn't you just stop time before that and you steal the shit?
yeah,
That's the problem with the time thing too. Like you have somebody like the Flash who can run at super speed, or you have someone like Gears who can literally stop time. Same with Chronica. Why do you have to need all this extra stuff then? Why not just, and here's the idea, stop time and then until you have more than enough time to do stuff.
well, I mean that's just kind of Mortal Kombat logic. Nothing really makes sense. Yeah, well, not nothing. Not nothing makes sense, but a lot of times, like there's just stupid things where you're like, yeah, they could probably do something there, like make it not seem dumb. But at the end of the day, like whether it's whether it's Mortal Kombat, whether it's Avengers Endgame, for example, I don't know if you saw that yet, but like
Yeah.
yeah, like all anything that has time travel is gonna have plot holes. It's gonna have
Mm-hmm.
things that you're like, but what if that? What does that lead to and stuff like that? So I don't know. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of time travel and stuff like that, and that's probably why I didn't like Avengers Endgame. That's probably why I like this game a lot, but there are some things that bother me about it. But I mean, yeah, I guess that's just kind of how it is. I mean, have to accept it, and that's what they wanted to do, and I guess yeah.
What else happened? Um, yeah, I think that's right. That's one of the things that just comes with having time travel with the game. So that's when you kind. That's why a lot of people try to avoid that because it's really hard to do it right. I'm just being honest.
Absolutely, and not leave holes. Most importantly.
Without people, everyone's gonna question it too. So it's like you might as well just stray away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of now move on to chapter 10. Chapter 10, the young Scorpion. Like, what do you think of this chapter? Wait, did we? Well, we jumped around a lot, but we didn't skip anything.
Yeah.
I have it. I have the character list in front of me right now.
Okay.
We jumped
So
around a
let's go
lot,
with
but
Scorpion.
yeah.
Scorpion.
What I kind of wanted to do was just kind of connect the characters that are that are like tied together, because in the story a lot of time it jumps between different
Yeah.
different points of view. So I just wanted to kind of keep it to where the characters are relevant to each other, and this is kind of where we're going to be moving on to the final three chapters, which I think need to be in order. Scorpion chapter 10, young Scorpion. I guess having to prove himself to Raiden to being the good Scorpion. Or at least trying to continue what Hanzo Hasashi is doing. What are your thoughts on this chapter?
I thought it was a little unexpected, but it did make me realize why Scorpion was still angry and as pissed as possible. Because he doesn't care about the Shiaru not being his people. He's still sad because no matter what happened, that he still lost his wife and child. They too were Shiaru, but like no matter how you explain it to someone, like he still lost his children, his child, and his wife.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things throughout this game, and like you said earlier, we've said it before. Like, it was a shame that Kitana didn't get to encounter her Revenant form. Like anytime you have these different characters encountering each other, it gives us a possibility to not just like think like, okay, listen, this is the difference between past Scorpion and now and how Scorpion is now. You get to actually on screen reacting to like face to face to each other. You get to see how these characters have developed over the years and how they've matured and how they've changed. And it was cool. You have Scorpion nowadays, or the present Scorpion, the one that's now dead. You have that version who has no more feelings of revenge towards Sub-Zero. He killed Quan Chi. Yeah, so all he wants to do is do whatever's best for his people, and that's pretty much it. Then you have the young Scorpion, who is still full of rage, who is still just basically fueled by hate, by revenge, and by redemption. That's pretty much all he wants. So it's just great to see, and I like to see that, the fact that Scorpion, Hanzo was willing to die for the new Shiryu and all that stuff, and it was one of the reasons that pushed the younger version of Scorpion to understand, like, yes, they aren't the Shiryu he left, but they are the Shiryu now. So he's fighting for the Shiryu that exists, and not the one that's never going to exist again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes perfect sense, but that's one of the things that I kind of read from it, and I think it kind of gave a little bit more personality to the younger Scorpion than we've ever really had, because he was always just fueled by revenge, whereas now he's actually fighting for something else as well. So it was a beautiful thing to see.
All right. No, it does, like I said, it does make you open your eyes, like he's fighting for something, and I think it's really almost sad because and like a waste of potential that they didn't bring Takeda in for it.
Yep, that's for sure. I was actually disappointed by that. Like I'm not a big fan of any of the Kombat kids except for Takeda, and I guess Cassie too. So I would have liked to see him in there to, kind of give a bit more depth to the story and kind of continue on with the whole revenge thing against the Red Dragon and stuff. But we might see that in a future game. That kind of seems like something that could potentially be in MK12.
No.
Just
We'll
kind of,
get to that clear to those predictions in a little bit.
yeah, especially because we have no idea what Liu Kang's going to be.
We'll get to those predictions in a little bit, buddy.
No
We
doubt
can't
about
talk
that.
about them.
No doubt, no doubt.
But the whole thing with that though is also I have to read these before I start them because if they tell me it's like, oh, you have to do brutality again, I'm like, well, shit, I don't feel like playing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go in. Oh, there's a scorpion. Never mind, I don't get a choice in this one. Let me put some augments on this guy. No, in the format that he could, like his master, he's gonna come out of nowhere and like, where's Master Hasashi? Like, oh, he's dead. Who killed him? Oh, Scorpion killed him. No, Devore killed him. Like, all right. And I wasn't here. Why again? It's just one of those things. Like they had some. They could have put. That's the thing too. Why did they go with I like Jackie in this game, but they chose Jackie over Takeda, which everyone loved Takeda though.
Well, I think that the thing is like Takeda he seems like he's his own character, or at least he's got something to him. Whereas I think like Jackie, in some ways, just feels like she's, I mean, not this amazing. I don't know how to put it, but she's just not that entertaining to even look at. Like not like look at as a woman, something like that. I'm talking about like her story, her gameplay. None of it is particularly interesting in my opinion. But whereas Takeda, he has the chains, he has the backstory that's connected to both Scorpion and Kenshi, who are both beloved characters and all that stuff. So I feel like that's probably like one of the reasons. But maybe if they can bring back Takeda in a future game, and they can bring back Jackie and kind of have them more relevant in a way and give them more screen time each, then maybe that could make Jackie a bit more interesting too. Maybe that Takeda effect can rub off on her.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully. But I do that's one thing. Yeah, I feel like they lost that opportunity by not having him there as well. What else happened? I think that's all, but I think we might want to start catching up on some of the other characters too, like Frost. We'll probably need to hit the villains too, because some of them played some major roles, some of them didn't. Collector was literally just there to just be there, but he was never really known as a fighter. He's a tax collector.
Yeah, he's just a grunt kind of guy. So
he's the mafia, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Shao Kahn. Good plot device, I guess.
Yeah.
But
disappointing.
They still didn't answer the question for me.
Which was?
Remember I said, like, so, how the hell are good or bad, or how you feel, like, how, in what universe are you friends with the person who kills you? So Liu Kang and they're not friends, they're working together, but it's like for a common goal. But even then, did no one ever hear these promises that Kanka made to everybody? Because this shit doesn't add up.
I mean, she must have promised some amazingly good stuff if all these people that hated each other are working together.
Well, let's see. So let's go over their motivations for working with them. So Noobs was he's gonna get a clan, which is I guess whatever. That was Noobs. Kind of Liu Kang, Jade, Cabal, Kung Lao, their motivation was pretty much to kill Raiden, which she kind of did. So she took her word on that one. Frost was to lead the Lin Kuei. Shao Kahn was to take back Outworld. And anyone who was under Shao Kahn was to take back Outworld, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then the Black Dragon was going to rule the entire market, the entire world, pretty much. Do none of these, like, do you ever realize that how many of the stuff conflicts with each other?
Yeah, there's. Yeah.
No, like, to be more specific too, Katana wants nothing to do with Liu Kang at all, even though she's technically married to the guy now. And then Kung Lao wants to take Liu Kang's spot. So it's like, you guys don't all get your own little pocket world. That's what everyone was expecting too. Like, oh, she made me this problem. Like, wait, does no one have the common sense to compare notes to what somebody told you? I mean, I'm sorry, but this is okay, so a different aspiration of mine other than more Kombat and be on a game or TV show with something with more Kombat. My aspiration is to be on the show Big Brother. And I'm sorry, but like common sense is to compare notes. I got that from that show. Like I have somebody who's going to get some intel. I want to talk to this person. They're going to talk to this person, and we're going to compare notes as to what that person told us. No one thought I was doing that with Kronika. Like, Kronika said that I can have Liu Kang's spot pretty much. Oh, Kronika told me that I can kill Raiden again. Oh, Kronika told me I can be rid of you. Wait, you won't be married to me? I mean, yeah, let's go help Kronika still. Let's make sure you get to kill Raiden. Like, well, no one talked to each other between the time she arrived until the time that Liu Kang, what happened in chapter 11, pretty much.
Yeah, it's all just kind of up, like just kind of in some ways, it doesn't really feel like it's all, it all makes
It
sense, right?
wasn't really all thought out.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person who mentioned this as well was in the endings that who was it? New Cyber was like, Kronika made a lot of deals to a lot of people, so I tried to kill her before that shit happened, before she could like not keep her promise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some, this, that's just one of the issues. Like, there are these moments where some things just don't really seem to be completely fledged out and make that much sense. But, I mean, I guess overall, like, compared to most games, this game, or at least most of the MK games, like, this one seems to be a little bit more well written, right? In general?
Yeah.
Like, definitely a lot better. The script is a lot better as well. Yeah, so, I mean, it has issues, but I would say it's not too bad. I do want to ask you one thing real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, among the supporting cast, like among the villains, I guess you could kind of say, which character was the one that you liked the most, and which one disappointed you the most? Because I have an interesting little thing real fast.
Setron disappointed the most.
Yes, perfect. We agree with that.
And who impressed me the most? They have to stay as a villain the entire time, or they start out villain.
No, I mean just like a villain in general, like somebody who you didn't get to play as. Yeah. Okay.
And the reason why I say those two are because it's story-wise. Baraka actually does some character change, while as the Cetrion, they pretty much just copy and paste Shinnok's story to her. The fact that she betrays the Elder Gods, and now she's she's a goddess of virtue in life, but she thinks there's virtue in war.
Well, yeah, more than anything, she's supposed to be, like you said, the goddess of, or yeah, the goddess of virtue in life, but yet she does everything that her mother, who is clearly evil, is telling her to do. So, I mean,
I mean, I will say this in this format that balance, like, it does make you think of balance in different, like how you're supposed to think of balance,
uh huh,
because everyone thinks of balance like, oh, good must win to be balanced. Like, no, balance is good wins, bad wins, good wins, bad wins, back and forth.
exactly,
Good doesn't always win. That doesn't make the balance.
exactly. It has to be both. If not, you know, if not, no.
Yeah, I mean that's just basic. That's just basic knowledge of what balance means. I mean, equal.
Yeah.
And with Raiden pretty much taking out the massive evil guy, that get rid of that does tip the balance over. But also, Shao Kahn winning Armageddon also tips the balance over.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. So yeah. I get it. Yeah. Like if there's no Shinnok, then there's technically not the balance. But if Shao Kahn wins and there's not the balance, all that stuff. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's for sure. But yeah. I mean, like in terms of the disappointment for me, why I asked you this question was because like when I saw Gearus, he's supposed to be this insanely powerful guy who can manipulate time. He can completely stop time, and yet every fight he gets in this game, he gets destroyed. He gets his ass beat. They bring the she every time he dies, he comes back stronger, all that stuff, and yet he still gets destroyed.
See,
Sorry,
go
what?
ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say then Cetrion, who is an elder god, she gets beat up every time she's on screen too. Then of course she does with Jax and Jackie. Of course she does the thing where either Jackie dies or young Jax gives back the crown. And I mean, okay, fine, but she still lost. Cetrion still lost the fight. So if you have an elder god who can't beat anybody, then what's the point of having her in there? Like, I get it, she's sister of Shinnok, she's daughter of Kronika, but at least make her win something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was extremely disappointed. Like, these villains, they just don't ever actually win anything. They all just get destroyed constantly, and it's frustrating because game after game after game we have the same complaint. The villains are always just kind of like grunt characters that are in there to get beat up consistently, and it's fucking frustrating because it's hard to build up a feeling of dread. It's hard to build up a feeling of drama when the good guys constantly win against the
Let's
most
put it like
powerful
this
characters.
though.
Mm-hmm.
So the only problem I have, problem I have with that one is because looking at it that way, I guess I would say that Patreon didn't just pull me that bad. That would really go to Chronica because Patreon, at least they gave her reasons why she lost. Like, for example, Cassie won because of the whole green power thing. That's why Johnny Cage won. And they mentioned that too. It's like, well, the Cages come from a magic family. That's why the magic family was made to fight God. Like, well, maybe we have some magic on our own side as well. And they gave that was that little crown, like gave amplify their powers. Remember, that
Yeah.
explains Sung's whole thing. As long as he has all souls he's taken, that's why his power is so much stronger. So it makes sense why they were Jackie was able to be here. Then Liu Kang takes a huge power up as well. Now, if they would have put her in the fight, like had to fight her like 4 times, then that would have been different. Then I was like, all right, that's ridiculous. She shouldn't be losing this many times. So the fact that they kept it down to 2, I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Gearus, yeah, the fact that when he lost, he lost, but then I said we already talked about the first time he lost. That was just stupid to me. I feel like if anything, and that should have been like one of those tag team fights when you were jumping them. But the other times the last time he lose against Raiden, the time before that he lose against Sonya, which I guess in the end he's just immoral, so he can't die, but he still gets his ass whooped though. But he's still technically the body of a mortal. And first we gotta just put in mind that these people are not regular people that are on this game.
Oh, definitely not. No, no. There's nothing regular about any of these characters.
Right, that's why I'm glad we don't really have power levels as much in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not even like he stays dead long either. So, as soon as they realized that he was coming back alive, special forces, like, everyone, get the fuck out of here now! Like, just go. It works. So Gears doesn't disappoint himself, but I guess in that format, the person who disappointed me the most is Chronica. Because, and this is kind of, it all leads from from chapter 11, where Ray started putting two and two together. It's like, we've done this many times before. Not just the one time we know of, but and multiple timelines before. I'm like, well, okay, I can kind of get down. Not really get down with it, because it pretty much says nothing matters anymore, and we can do anything we want. That's the first problem with this. The second is, the second one was, looking much was like, I thought this shit happened. Just the whole format that she comes in out of nowhere. It's like, oh, we have had this so many times. I've lost count. Like, if we had this conversation so many times, why are you just now trying to kill Raiden? Get rid of him for it.
Yeah, you should have done that or a lot earlier, right?
Yeah. Like, the first time you have this conversation, like, no, I'm going to kill you now. No, you have the same conversation with the guy, and you just like, no, I think Raiden's a problem. We should probably get rid of him.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, so she probably disappointed me mostly. Like, alright, well, instead of just wiping out Raiden again or taking him, so he can get his ass jumped again by the Revenants like he did in the last game, because that's rewarding to me, at least. Watching Raiden get jumped for some reason is rewarding.
Yeah.
But no, she takes Liu Kang with her, and then gives his soul to Liu Kang. Try saying that, try to make it make sense.
I kind of like the idea in theory. You know, having this extremely powerful version of Liu Kang going against, Raiden. But, of course, you kind of would have thought that she maybe would have somewhat seen this coming, to where Raiden transmits all that power into Liu. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, still,
but
it was
all the timelines, like, they never thought of that.
Yeah, like, how many times did she say it happened? Did they give a number?
You lost count.
Yeah.
No,
so
she said I lost count.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, like, I guess
I'm gonna say over 100 for sure.
I would say so, probably, if she lost count.
So, by saying that no Raiden has thought of merging with Liu Kang and combining our powers.
Yeah.
No one thought about fusion.
No, they just always have to kill each other.
But anyway, the only good thing that came from that chapter, and that was a good chapter still, don't get me wrong, but the best thing I say was just seeing all the skins that are in the game, I guess, pretty much, because those were some cool arenas, though.
Oh, for sure. for sure. The locations in the game are light
Mm-hmm.
years better than what we saw in MKX. Like not even close.
And 9.
MK9 had some good ones, yeah, but they were all the classic ones, just kind of upgrading graphic wise. This one has a
Mm-hmm.
much is like much more beautiful, and of course it does have some classic places, of course, like Shang Tsung's Island and stuff like
Subway.
that. Yeah, Subway as well. But
August.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was definitely cool to see in just a really really beautiful game. Like between the models, the cutscenes, the animations, everything in this game is so beautiful.
Yeah. But I think it's like I'm like there better be some new arenas coming in with this game from the DLC patches. Because they're not, I'll be pissed. Like, you don't show us all those cool stages and not make them actual stages.
Yeah. But yeah, like just it was still, really really beautiful game. I mean, even like this like the stages in game is how many 21, 24, maybe less. Hold on, how many are there?
There's so many stages in this game. I
Yeah.
simply lost count.
Oh boom, you just made it come. I'll call back all the way over to Chronica. Congratulations, dude. That was beautiful. An applause for Thomas. It's a beautiful moment. Woohoo! Yeah! You did it, baby. Woohoo! Fuck yeah! That's the moment of the episode. Woohoo!
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was definitely the moment of the episode. So,
What if people actually asked us if we stripped this shit out? Like, no, we don't. Like, they totally stripped that out. Like, they totally stripped that. Like, no, I literally just came up top of my head. Like, how many stages are there? There's so many stages. I simply lost count.
that was perfect. I mean, well played. Like, congrats. Like, truly,
Yeah.
congrats. That was very well played. So, I mean, boom. All right. So, let's just get into the Fire God Liu Kang bit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what did you
First
think
of
of that?
all, now we obviously have talked about the ending of Raiden's chapter first because,
Okay, fair play. Yeah.
yeah, cause they're fighting each other, and then one point of fire is like, you're going to have to kill me to make me stop hating you. Like, I would rather save you. But also, no, first of all, I'm mad at Raiden again. Because, like, because I was almost okay with Raiden. Now I just realized something again. I hate Raiden. Again. Because when you decide that when he's fair, if he can heal people or not, then I might like him, okay?
Yeah.
In the meantime, I don't like Raiden. Because he just decided that he just figured out, like, oh, I can heal Scorpion. Or, oh, I can save Liu Kang now. Why the fuck did you do that with every other rep? Why was it such a big deal if Quan Chi died then? If you couldn't do it, if you could do it by yourself.
Yeah, you would think you would, figured that out quite a while ago, or at least used it.
If
You know.
if all he had to say was, I would rather save you, Liu Kang, Katana, Cabal, Jade, Striker, Nightwolf. I would rather save you guys than kill you. So bring it in. We'll do a huge hug, and I'll merge my life with all of you guys. You don't get to just. That doesn't redeem half the shit you did because you did one character. Technically 25 years later.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
timeline, the new timeline, is 25 years now.
yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't work like that.
It definitely doesn't, but you know, they did so many things right. Eventually, they're gonna do a bunch of weird shit. Doesn't
Yeah,
really
but
make a lot
I
of
just
sense.
remember that though, so that's why it doesn't.
Ah, okay, yeah,
All the good shit they did doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's just all, yeah, whatever. I don't really, I don't know. They just do so much stuff that it's hard to track sometimes.
Just figure out if Ray can heal people or not, and stick with it.
Yeah, at least like if he can, make him use it more often because he never does it unless it's
I mean, death already doesn't mean anything if we're just gonna all be revenants anyway.
true. As long as Quan Chi's
So
around,
let's
yeah.
so we might as well just heal everyone then. That's the case.
Yeah. And
But
shall we get into Fire
okay.
God?
sorry,
No worries.
um, but I guess healing the old revenant brings back alive Liu Kang, bring back the young Liu Kang somehow. It doesn't add up, but either way, a combining forces of Raiden and Liu Kang makes Raiden Liu Kang a fire god, and that was probably the best badass scene. It was probably the coolest thing you saw in that game. There's a lot of cool things in that game, but that was definitely one of the coolest.
Like just everything that happens from then on is just
Mhm.
completely phenomenal. Like him just destroying everybody, leading the assault on her fortress. It was just all the scenes were just tremendous from then on. And like I said, for the first time they made or at least for me personally, they made Liu Kang extremely interesting. Like it was just very fun to look at and made him really really cool. So I think that this was what he needed. This was the comeback that Liu Kang needed to be what Liu Kang probably should have been. You know, just this amazing character and to have him, not just be powerful, but also be brutal in some ways. It was just perfect because he is a god, so he's no longer. Yes, he still is the good guy Liu Kang, but he's also got that god in him. So it made him a bit more. I don't know, just a bit more interesting to me personally.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then of course,
But
the encounters with all of his revenants and all that stuff, and how
well,
he,
I want to talk about just that fight scene, that war scene.
yeah, that was good. That was
And
definitely a good one.
can I say, I want some serious soundtrack or something with this game that I can purchase and listen to when I work out
There's some good music in it,
because
that's for sure.
that's an understatement. Because we have heard that war scene, even with the guitar riff, was like badass. But one thing I will say that I did appreciate from that chapter, other than just the war and fight, seeing watch everyone fight, like everyone get their little time to shine. Special Forces, Shaolin, Sub Zero, Scorpion, Jax make another face turn, and then Outworld's army. What else happened as well? Who else fought? Oh yeah, and then Liu Kang literally coming from the heavens and decimating the armies.
It was.
Oh no, we were at Kano's shed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I just remember like they lost the Outworld's army because Shao Kahn died. They lost the Black Dragon because Kano died. Well, that was I think we did mention that a little bit. That was probably the most rewarding thing. But if you don't know how he died, so just shoots old Kano in the face. Well, young Kano in the face. It's hard to keep track of sometimes.
Yeah, and the way
This
it
is why I
works
say
is
don't
if
do
the
time
young one
travel.
dies, then the old one dies too.
Yeah. Now, somebody did mention, like, saying, like, so the world doesn't change around them as they take a major player. I was like, I mean, the world's already collapsed. Time's already collapsing on itself now, so nothing will really change. Besides Kano just being dead.
Yeah, it's still just
But,
Kano. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So who cares about Kano?
But I think when Kano died, that was, like, probably the most rewarding thing I've ever dealt with seeing before.
Yeah, like it was up there with Katana becoming Khan.
Yeah?
So I mean, they did a lot of great character. They had a lot of great character moments for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best in the series in terms of, you know, hitting the top notes when it counted.
Yeah. Now, and now, after all of that happened, like I said, Liu Kang kills a bunch of the Netherlands army, and everyone gets a little cutscene. Everyone who's from the old timeline gets their cutscenes of um, their fights. Katana takes out a few people. Kamala takes out a few people. Jax's kill somebody together. But one thing I did appreciate as well, and some people won't notice this, but after playing more Kombat the 3D era so long, certain phrases stays with you. And when you hear, if you go back and you can go listen to this chapter if you want to quick, but when you go to the first chapter and then Liu Kang gets knock out the door or kills some more of the demons, he literally makes the same sound Raiden made back in Deception when he threw lightning.
I did notice that actually. I did, yeah.
I heard it say, wait, is that a callback? That a callback to Deception? Well played. So like, where it fucks out bad, it makes up right afterwards, I guess. It feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this was a great game to where they kind of apologized for all the bullshit they've done over the past couple games, and it all kind of felt like it all built up into this one beautiful game to where it just all made sense, or not all made sense, but it just kind of all worked. It all kind of worked. You know what I mean? Like
it worked for the first time.
Yeah.
Then you watch it a couple more times and you see the little flaws in it. But like I said in the past, Mortal Kombat can have its bad days whenever they want, but I'll still play it. So it doesn't matter to me.
For sure. But I think that we can probably both agree this is head and shoulders above MKX's storyline too. I mean, I would say so anyway. Yeah. So I mean,
no, I didn't hear the last part.
No,
sorry.
I said I said I think that we probably both agree that the story mode for MK11 is head and shoulders better than MKX's.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
No, I thought you said something about it better than Jax, and like, what? That makes sense. Let me ask him again. Because I'm still what?
Yeah. No,
I'm watching Sub-Zero versus Scorpion, so.
Yeah. So I don't have that much time as of right now, like a little bit. So let's just go ahead and finish the story mode chat, and then we'll talk about the DLC. And next week maybe we can do a whole episode about what we expect coming in the next few months for MK11. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air, but also But
yeah.
Long story short, you watch Liu Kang has to fight his evil comrades, and pretty much it's all great. But then there's two endings at the end. After he fights his comrades and he fights Cetrion, he has to fight Kronos, obviously. Which one, I'm happy that they actually made him the hero in the game. But then after that, it's just the two endings. The first one, if you kill Kronos twice, the first stage, then Liu Kang goes back and saves and brings Katana back with him, and they are the new keepers of time. Now, if you don't, and we both got this ending the first try, but if you lose the first time and you beat her on the second stage, then you get Raiden and the King as the keepers of time until Raiden dies eventually, because he is mortal.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, it was a huge everything they did in the game, and this is final thoughts now. I know we just script that whole last chapter, but there wasn't really much for it besides
just
we talked
fights,
about it.
Yeah,
we talked about a little bit of it earlier, but the whole everything was it was like a huge thank you for the past 25 years. It felt like the first time I played it.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
And it was crazy too because like three things are coming to an end right now. Mortal Kombat came to the end with pretty much this game because with this game how they ended it, they can pick up whenever they want and start wherever they want. Unfortunately, that's the case, but if they want to do another reboot, they can. But then also you have Game of Thrones that's ending, and also Endgame that just ended.
Yep.
Now, just a quick question. What if Game of Thrones tried to bring time travel in this last season?
I'll probably just kill myself.
All three things that we love, just until the end, they all use time travel.
I'll just write a suicide letter basically saying that Cyrax was my idol, and I'm just going to kill myself in his honor. That's pretty much my only choice at that point.
But no, shut up. But one thing we'll talk more about it off air, and then we can have something to talk about next week as well. But everything with this game has pretty much redeemed itself as of the first few weeks. The only problem now is that we still have no indication of who's the DLC people are going to be still.
Yeah, zero.
So hopefully they can start figuring this out sooner than later because it's starting to piss me off now. But you have anything else to say?
No, I mean,
I never said.
all I want to say is, you know, this game, like, I think the ending was satisfying, but at the same time it wasn't because it leaves so much open and it didn't give any kind of a hint of where they're going to go for. So like in some ways it did kind of feel unsatisfying, but I think that overall, like, if they even wanted to end the series like right here, like if this would be a satisfying ending. Like if they said this was the last MK game ever, this is how it's ending, then fine. Like it's okay because Liu Kang and Raiden or Liu Kang and Kitana, whichever ending
Yeah,
you got.
depending on the ending, it's a rewarding ending.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to Leon about it as well, you wouldn't believe how happy he was to see just Kitana and Liu Kang get together for the first time, and really ever, because old timeline, he picks Earth over sex, whatever he said.
Mm-hmm.
This timeline, they're both killed. And now they finally get together.
And forever
Yeah.
run time basically. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, like it's satisfying. It has its
Mhm.
issues, but it's still, I would say it's definitely a satisfying ending to you know, to a great game, just overall great game. And we'll talk more about the gameplay and the characters, like in terms of that stuff, like in a future episode, I'm sure. But
Mhm.
I mean, like overall, yeah, I'm happy with the story mode. Like of course, as time goes on, I'm sure we'll find more and more issues with it. But you know, as of right now, I'm happy with the storyline for the first time since Deception. I'm happy with the story mode for the first time since even of course Deception had its issues, of course, but like the fact that it was open world and stuff like that, it made it a bit better, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
MK9 storyline was a shit show. MKX was an even bigger shit show, and this one was a good step in the right direction and just pretty much satisfying. So that's pretty much all I have to say on it. Like just congrats to NetherRealm Studios for not completely messing up something for once. Anything else you want to say
Alright.
before we
No, I'm
wrap this up?
good.
All right, sweet. Then thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, then definitely hit the like button and let us know in the comment section anything that we may have missed or anything you want to talk you want us to mention in a future video or anything you just want to ask us about the story mode or stuff like that and about the game in general. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Later, guys.
See ya.